Innovative.
You know me.
Yes. Awesome.
Steady camera work.
Hey, how's it going? I'm back.
Hey.
That wasn't good enough. I'm so sorry. Okay. I'm going to start with a poem that I wrote about a flower. This was from December of 2017. She still stands vibrant as ever, despite the short days, despite the cold creeping in, alone in the shadows of the mighty trees, allowing just enough sun through to let her thrive. Day after day, I stumble upon her beauty, and she doesn't cease to remind me that all we need is the soil to root in, all we need is the air to breathe in, all we need is the light to bathe in.
Yeah.
It was like this little daisy that was just in the woods in December, and it was cold out, and I was like, oh, hey, and there was just like a little patch of sunshine, and I was like, this is awesome and inspiring, you know? It's just like so resilient to the cold, and it lasted for a while. Yeah, it was cool. Okay, so I read this one, I think the first time that I was here? I don't know. I'm going to read it again. She sat quietly in the shallow water, surrounded by lotus flowers, her body draped with a white gown. I gently kissed her on the crown. My eyes met her gaze. We were engulfed in a misty haze at the edge of the shoreline, two souls intertwined, our hearts aligned. The morning stood still, of the silence we had our fill. We bathed in the sun, the day had just begun. In the meadow, the wind blows. Her hair wraps around her skin in a graceful whirlwind. In an earthly romance, the grasses dance as the sun kisses their tips, and what I think about is her lips brushed up against mine. She is radiant, she shines. She is a flame, she is a fire, one that ignites my deepest desire for what I feel is truly love, the kind that I've only ever dreamed of. Her fair skin glistens as she intently listens to the breeze, her mind at ease, her eyes closed, her art exposed. She is open. All her pieces that were once broken have come together. She is now whole, and a light shines from within her soul.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Okay, so I have a new thing that I wrote, and I kind of like threw it together over the past couple days. And it's like one of those things where I wrote and I was like, oh, I could do more with this, but I figured I'd share it anyway. I feel as if I laid in that room forever, trapped in a prison that I formed in my own mind. I stayed there in my discomfort, thinking that is where I was supposed to be, and that there was no way out. I looked out the windows to the darkness. There was starlight and moonlight, and that is the only light I ever did see. I was afraid of the dark. Inside, it was familiar to me, oddly comforting, and outside, it was uncertain and intimidating. Eventually, there came a time when I looked out the window and saw, at the edge of the woods, in the dark, a small spark. It ignited a flame, and it called my name. A figure, glowing, energy flowing, drawing me to it, pulling me out. Although frightened, I could not ignore it. I was tired of laying in my darkness, and I stepped outside, my naked body shocked by the cold as my bare feet sank in the snow. The moonlight reflected off the white ground, illuminating all that was around. A wild woman, white gown, floral crown, hair flowing, aura glowing, her arms outstretched, palms towards the sky. She held fire in her hands. She approached me. My eyes met hers, soft and full of love. With a flick of her wrist, the flame fell, forming a circle around us. Heat melting the snow, caressing my body no longer cold. Reaching for my hands, I observed no burn on hers, only warmth, as her skin made contact with mine, sending a rush of energy through my spine. She gazed into the depths of me and spoke ever so truthfully. The darkness did not win. It was in that moment I realized I was staring back at myself. And our hands separated, and I, one with her, carried the flame forward.
Yeah.
So what do you all think of that one? Should I do more with it, or was it all good?
Hell yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yay. Yeah, thanks, guys. So I actually, like, I do a lot of yoga, and I was at a yoga class the other night, and I was, like, in this pose, and, like, this whole, like, vision came to me of, like, this woman approaching me in the snow, and I ran with that idea. It was cool.
That's powerful.
Okay, so it's been really warm the past, like, week. It's amazing. I love winter in Tennessee. I'm originally from Illinois, and it's are you from Illinois too? Rockford. I'm from McHenry County.
Lincoln Rockford.
You're from Rockford too? Oh my gosh, all those northerners here. Okay, well, I think we can all agree that Tennessee winters are way better than Illinois.
Coldest night I've ever spent was in Rockford, Illinois.
I grew up in Wonder Lake. I don't know if you ever heard of that town, but yeah, those winters, it's pretty rough. So, yeah, the warm winters are inspiring to me. And I've been thinking about fire a lot lately. Unfortunately, I was invited to a bonfire, but I had to work that whole day, and then the next day, Daniel Bird invited me to a fire, and I was really disappointed that I couldn't go. I literally got home at 6:30, and I laid in bed with my dog and fell asleep. But I was still thinking about the fire. So winter, warm days, long nights, fire, air. The wild and untamed gather there, dancing with flame under the embers, rising higher into a starlit sky. We can see more than what is visible to the naked eye.
Hell yeah.
It's a short little thing right now. I didn't get very further than that. Okay, so I've never read anything that I haven't written myself, so this is going to be a little bit different, but like, I don't know if anybody has heard of Ram Dass, but
Yeah.
Photograph, Tim.
oh really?